Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, February 9th. Greetings from Arizona. I'm just going to set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. One last thing. Looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And the screen's so small. Discord right here. All right, got that link sent out right there. All right, guys, as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. I got too many things up on my chart. All right, let's see. Got that there. That is blue, blue, blue. All right, going down to the 8-hour time frame. Down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Down to the 15-minute. Change this to red. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. Back down to the 1-minute. Clear this up. And looks like we're good. All right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Greetings from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Trading from my hotel room, as you guys can see from the different background. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring my second screen. Well, I brought the second screen. I forgot the cables. So I'm trying to work off just one screen right here off my MacBook Pro. So I got a lot of stuff on my screen right here, so it's going to be kind of hard for me to like kind of navigate. So I'll try to look at everything here as well as possible, but it's just a little difficult because I have the Zoom on here and have the chat and I have everything just kind of lined up on here, kind of blocking my charts. So if I miss anything, just let me know, guys. And if the volume is not good, just let me know and I'll try to make some adjustments. But good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, February 9th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. I pretty much marked up liquidity over here. As you guys can see, the first level of liquidity got hit right here already. It's probably going to drop down further, but we'll see what happens when market opens. Now let me see if I can get over to this clean chart. All right, so we got the clean chart over here. Let me just drag this over. It's kind of messy on my end because I have so many things open right now. 6:30 right there. 8 o'clock right there. Go to the 4 hour real quick, see if there's any structure that we can mark up. All right, so price is currently at the it is currently at the 4 hour resistance for our supports down here. Go down to the 1 hour. 1 hour supports right here. Come back down to the 1 minute. And you guys can see price is currently rejecting off the 4 hour resistance zone. So I'll put this right here. Copy this. 4 hour resistance level. Right there. All right, so good morning, everybody. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Fund Morning, iPad, Maria. Morning, Martha. Perfect. Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for the heads up. Morning, Hack. Happy Friday. Morning, Nick. Morning, Kenny. Morning, William. Morning, Miriam. Daniel said, did anyone know the reason for the big spike? There was a big spike right here, as you guys can see. Price spiked up and it spiked right back down. Looks like it came up right to the 4 hour resistance and it came right back down, right? I don't think there was any news today that caused that to spike. Let me see if I could find anything here. Not really. There's a I don't really think there's any news today. Well, there might be news. I think is this 7 o'clock news? Sorry, my time zones are all screwed up right now because yeah. Hey, Maddie, are you here? Yeah, Maddie, can you check the news for me, bro? Because the time zone here is different. I don't know if these are the right time zones for me. Okay, no news. Perfect, perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks for confirming. Yeah, so there's no news today. Let me check CNBC real quick. ABC, NBC reported something. Not really. Aside from this right here, the little S&P news that came up. So no idea what actually caused the spike there. Again, I'm like limited with my screens here, so I can't pull up everything that I want to pull up. But um, okay, gotcha. Martha said CPI revisions about it. So looks like that was about it. It's just that revision of the inflation news. All right, so I don't see any news for today, guys. So it looks like we might be in the clear. Currently, right now, the trend is bearish. So if we're looking for the PRB entry, we're going to look for price to maybe kind of swing up a bit on market open, provide some space, and then come back down for the continuation. So we'll see what happens here when market opens shortly. This is our setup or chart for the PRB entry. And I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. The chat's going to be a little hard for me to keep an eye on because of my limited space on my screen, but I will try to keep an eye out on the chat to see um, any messages that come in. So again, guys, looking at this here, how everything's set up, looks like we might be looking for a sell here for the PRB entry. Trend right now is currently bullish, bearish, sorry. The trend is obviously bearish right now. I guess we can take a look at retail sentiment if necessary. I don't think it's really too necessary because it doesn't affect us too much with this type of entry. But we'll just take a look. So it's currently 78% short right now. This indicates that 78% of retail traders are currently selling. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to look for buys, but long term, you probably want to look for some correction to the upside. Other than that, I think, oh, and also I think the reason why price spiked down like that, Daniel, was because of the all-time high. I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but the all-time high was just hit. Nick told me this pre-market, and I was able to see it. So Nick, yeah, mentioned this that the all-time high was getting hit. Let's see, go over here to like the price is coming down kind of heavy. Yeah. So the Asia high resistance or the Asia high sessions right here is where the all-time high is. So price pretty much hit the all-time high and it came right back down. So if we ever come back and we look at where that's currently sitting, then that's what we'd be looking at. Just wherever the Asia session high is. So, all right, guys, we'll see what happens. Market is opening in a few moments. I'm gonna have to move this somewhere because I can't see the timer. Okay, let me see. I'll move the chat up here. Man, I hate that I forgot my other screen. It's so hard for me to identify where the little timer is at. Camo said open Zoom and keep it on the chat. Yeah, the thing is I can't do that because I'm the one that's streaming Camo. If I open it on my phone, you're not gonna be able to see my computer screen, and then I wouldn't be able to see the chat. You can do that if you're attending the Zoom, but if you're the one that's hosting the Zoom, you wouldn't be able to see the stuff that you're actually looking for. Yeah, so unfortunately, I can't do that. All right, guys, market is now open. Let me go and mark up opening price right here. So we got market open right here. Let's go back to our breakout chart. So what we're looking for here is we're looking for the retracement. Once we get the retracement, then we'll be looking for some space and then some continuation in that direction. Thank you. All right, guys. So we currently have market open here. We're basically looking for it to swing back up, provide some retracement, then look for some space, and then look for the turnaround back to the downside. The trend's currently bearish right now, so that's pretty much what we're waiting for. Let me see if I can get this a little closer. Everything's pretty much set up here now. Let's see. So we got the ATR right now, which is currently 15. ATR is actually pretty decent right now. It's actually pretty decently high. Candles are slightly big. We don't have any so this, I'll let you guys know if this is the retracement. I'm gonna see how this candle here closes. Basically, we wanted to push up, maybe kind of wick off any of these areas. So we wanted to push up and then have some sort of wick on top. Basically, that's kind of what we're looking for. Price to push up and then to come back down. So no print yet. Might come off this candle right here. So this could be the retracement, and then it could probably also be the initiation to the space. Right? I'll zoom in a little bit. We got 30 seconds left on this candle right here. All right, if this candle closes red, or if it has a wick on top, this could be the retracement. So you got price pushing up, then we have it coming back down. This is a retracement right here. This could also be considered a precursor to the space that we're looking for as well. All right, so there goes the retracement that we were looking for. Now we're looking for the space in between. And then we'll be looking for the turnaround. All right, so here we go. I'm just gonna wait for this here. Depending on how this candle closes, I'll let you know if I consider this space or not. So we got the print for the retracement rejection. This candle's got about like 20 seconds left on it. We are looking for a sell. Just gotta be patient. All right, so this looks like that doji setup that I was telling you guys about for space. All right, so there goes space. We have the retracement, we have the space. Now we're going to look for that turnaround. We need price to push up a little bit again, come right back down. So I want this to push up and then possibly wick off, one of these areas here. So if this closes with a wheat green candle or a red candle, so we're looking for either a big wick on top or a decently big wick on top or a red candle. If this closes red, then I will be taking this as the PRB entry. Either close red or big wick on top. If it closes like with a big green candle, obviously not. Just gotta wait a little bit. Still got 20 seconds left on the candle. We got 10 seconds left on this candle. If it closes red, then I will be taking it. 5 seconds left. All right.
Or
So the entry would have happened right here.
order submitted.
And I'll be watching it right here. I don't know if I got in at best price. So I'll be watching it. The volatility is actually pretty decently high right now with how it's currently sitting. I don't know if this is my hit my stop. My intro isn't the best. See where it's at. Still in it. Fuck. Unfortunately, guys, my stop got hit right there.
Held.
So I got stopped out of this position right here. The end of this week has been kind of tricky. Let me check the sessions real quick. So it was a little tricky here because it did reject off the sessions, but same situation as yesterday. It was like in between two sessions. This is kind of the situation that happened yesterday, except for yesterday, it was actually rejecting off both of the sessions. It was kind of a tricky area right here where our entry came in, but it's all good. We have to follow the strategy as it's supposed to be applied because that's the only way we can really test it to see how it works. So far we've had, let's see, 25 entries. So 25 entries, 23 wins and 2 losses for and it looks like price is coming right back down. We just got screwed with that big candle right there. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing comes all the way back down and hits our TP. But it's all good. I'm gonna eat the loss on that again, unfortunately. So there goes our loss right there for the PRB. Yeah, nothing could have been differently for that. Nothing could have been done differently for that entry. Just looking at this here from the setup, so we had price come down, come up, space, turn around right here, but then we just got caught with this big green candle, and then it ended up coming back down. So it's all good. Ended up eating that loss right there. I'll take a screenshot of my accounts again so that you guys can see. And I'm gonna hope that we come back from this. Well, I mean, we should, because I've never seen this have two back-to-back losses. But here goes my accounts. It actually copied on all of mine today. So I took the loss on all of my Apex accounts. Here, let me take a screenshot of this real quick. Man, it was like if our entry was just a little bit off, we still would have been in the position because it like literally just came up, spiked up, hit the stop loss, and then came right back down. So I've talked about this with Maddie. The thing is, this volatility here is a lot higher. So if the volatility stays high, we might just have to adjust our TP stop loss. So instead of doing a 25-25, we might have to do a 30-30. Because if we had a 30-30, we would have survived this spike to the upside and return back down. But it's okay. Right now, we didn't have any reason to make adjustments to our TP stop loss. And we'll see how this ends up playing through. But yeah, this is counting as a loss. I'm going to put this over here real quick on the Discord. This thing load up. Right. Thankfully, it was only 225 points. I'm going to make some adjustments to this. Thankfully, it's only 25 points. It wasn't the typical 30 points. So the loss isn't really as bad as it could have been. But again, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this comes down and hits TP now. We just got caught in this. So this is like where it gets kind of tricky because you can see how the candles here are moving kind of slow. And then all of a sudden we have this big spike to the upside, basically fake out. And then it came right back down. Yeah, so Nick said that he lost on his Apex and partial win on his FTMO. I guess his entry point was different. William said he closed for some profit, not much, but some. Nice. Vimal got a partial win. Natasha said she got in super late, so she was able to get some profit. Yeah, unfortunately, I just got caught in this big green candle here. So it looks like it would have hit TP here if it didn't, or if it ended up turning around and coming right back. This is kind of the setup that we've had in the past, but then it ends up coming back down. For this right here, it just ended up spiking up and then it came right back down after. Nice. Yeah. So Albert over here said it hit its TP for him. He set his stop loss to 30. Randy said he missed the entry, waited for the sell stop, but his stop loss before filled, so he just canceled. Certain said he didn't take it yesterday, same as didn't take it today, same as yesterday. Solid. Yeah, no, that's solid, guys. So I took the entry. Here's my loss for that trade. It's not too bad. I mean, this is probably my first red week in a long time. So first red week in a long time because we had the second loss, but I'm still up a lot for the month and for the year. So, I mean, it happens, right? That's just how the game works. You're going to have some red weeks, some green weeks. The main goal is to have yourself in the green by the end of the month and obviously by the end of the year. So here are my profits or losses, I guess. Copy this over, screenshots. All right. So there goes my loss for the day. Yeah, and you guys can see it would have hit. Unfortunately, we just got caught in this green candle right here. So the candle would have, depending on if your entry was late, because some people enter late. If you would have entered late, it would have filled it and would have went straight to TP. I just got caught in that green candle. So it's all good. I'm glad to see that the pattern here still played out. It's just the entry happened, it just happened where it was. So if our entry happened a little later, it would have been fine, but it's all good. We can't think that way, right? You can't think about the what ifs. This is how the strategy is applied, and that's how the strategy played out. So it's all good. 23 wins and 23 wins and 2 losses for this strategy so far for the year. I'm still going to keep applying it the same way that we've been applying it. The only difference we will change here if necessary is if the ATR stays high. We're not going to adjust it today because there's no reason to adjust it. You have 2 losses, you're going to change your entire strategy. No, that's not how it works. That's how you blow accounts because you can't stick to one strategy, right? We're going to keep it as is. And then if we happen to see the ATR that remains high, then we'll change it. We'll change the TP stop loss. The only thing is that the ATR has been high for the past 2 days. So it's been high today and yesterday, but before that, it wasn't like that, right? It's only been like that for the past couple of days. So we're not going to make any changes right now. But we'll see what happens in the next couple of days if we need to make adjustments. But I think the market's probably going to stay as is. So you just got to keep going. You can't make changes to your strategy just because you have 2 losses, right? Yeah. So yeah, the ATR was low yesterday, but it was the market was moving in a well, it was just the ATR for that specific time period, but the entry, so you can see how the entry was right here. It started to pick back up. Like you can see the ATR was low because everything here was moving kind of slow, but then we got caught in these big spikes. So there just needs to be more testing done. If the ATR is consistently above, like say for example, if it's like consistently above 20, then that's when we'll make adjustments. But right now we just got to keep it at 25, 25 until we figure out what adjustments need to be made. So we'll keep looking for some more official entries over here, guys. It's like right in between the sessions, so there's not really going to be much of an official entry. As you guys can see, it's just very choppy at the moment. And there's just not much to work with here. So in order for us to have any official entries, we need price to push away from these sessions. And then we'll look for entries once they come up. there's a V1 pattern right here, but again, it's like right next to the session. So there's not going to be anything for us to take here unless price does push below. So if price does push below from where it's currently at, we may be able to have a possible breakout V3 continuation. Yeah, it needs to close below the sessions over here. So right before it closes through the sessions, we'll be able to look for that breakout V3 continuation. Yeah, Henry said maybe a deeper retracement before looking for space. Yeah, possibly. You know what I noticed? Well, obviously, this is what happened today and yesterday. The times when we had the losses, which is only yesterday and today, is when the entry came up super early. So this entry came up at 6:35. Usually our entries happen over here around 6:40. So I think that's probably the key thing right there. Um, the key thing might just be the timing of the entry, because every other entry happened perfect when it was set up where there was a yeah, exactly. Or Maddie said or a two candle space. Yeah, because if we had a two candle space, that probably would have helped it too. Yeah, because if we had a two candle space here, Maddie, I think the entry still wouldn't have been it still wouldn't have been filled like by now. It would have been filled right here actually. So I'm curious. We'll follow right here, Maddie. Because if we waited for a two candle space, we had retracement, space. These are the two space up here. Actually, no, you're right, Maddie. The entry would have happened right here off this green candle. I don't know. We'll make some adjustments when necessary. I don't think it's necessary right now. We'll keep doing it as is. Um, when I was looking at the chart this morning, I kind of felt like there should have been a bigger TP stop loss because if you guys saw back here, like right before the entry came, you guys can see that our range here was already kind of small, right? So I already had a feeling that if price was to spike up a little bit, it'd be too close. Right? It would hit our stop loss before it ended up coming back down. Um, so I think I'll have to play it by ear. When I set it up, I'll see if there needs to be some adjustments. If it's too close, like for example, like I think a 30-30 would have been a big difference compared to a 25-25 like that. The stop loss was just too close. So I think that's what I'll do. When I set it up right here, I'll just match it along the candles over here. If the candles are too tight and it looks like it might hit stop loss before it hits TP, then I'll probably just use a 30-30. And then we'll see from there. But it's all good. There's still no entries here for a there's still no entries here for any breakout V3 continuation. It's still setting up, guys. So we currently have a V1 pattern right here. If we get a sell signal that's followed by a red candle, that's going to be a breakout V3 continuation for a sell. So I'll see if we can maybe catch this here. This candle has to close, though. Once it closes, we'll be able to look for some possible entry. But at the moment, it's just not available right now. No sell signal there. Yeah, Maddie said the sell signal has been pending. It's weak. So we had the sell signal that's been pending since 6:44. So it's been coming up right here. Then it came up right here, didn't close, came up here, here, and here, but didn't close yet. So yeah, if it doesn't close right here, Maddie's gonna wait for a reset, and I'll be looking for the reset as well. Doesn't look like it's gonna close because price is pretty much going sideways right here. So price did break below the 4-hour resistance, which you guys can see. Um, there's actually a 1-minute support right here, as you guys can see as well. So this right here is the 1-minute resistance level or support, sorry, not resistance. All right, so back to our main chart over here. So it did close right there. If anybody's looking to take the sell here, see. You gonna take this one, Maddie? This is a triple confluence. I'll see how this here closes. If it closes red, I'll take this for a sell. It's not looking like it's gonna close red though. Yeah, the candle has to close strong. If it doesn't close strong, I'm not going to take it. It can't be like this right here where I can't tell if it's going to close red or not. It's got to close pretty far down, so I know for sure it's going to close red, but it's looking like it's not going to here. Yeah, no entry. So the candle didn't close red, and unfortunately, there's no entry there for the breakout V3 continuation. So no entry there. So you guys can see it's pretty obvious. The market's moving very unusual today and yesterday. This is kind of how the market was moving yesterday too. I think it's just one of those times. It's like one of those times during the month where the market's moving kind of iffy, and there's just a lot of manipulation happening, right? So I don't think there's any changes that we need to make to the PRB entry just yet. I think the market's just moving kind of unusual today and yesterday, which eventually, by the end of or by next week, hopefully it'll just smoothen back out and it'll just go back to how it's supposed to be moving. So no entry right here, guys. Um, yeah, there's not really much for us to look at here. Yeah, Sisu said it's Friday end of week and the Fed spoke all week. Yeah, so the market's having a bit of a reaction due to like the Fed news that happened this week. There's a lot of stuff that was happening all throughout the week, and then it just starts to wrap up on Thursday, Friday. So unfortunately, this would have been a good entry if this would have closed red, it looks like, but it didn't close red. Just a lot of fake outs happening today. Now that price is coming down like this, we'll see if there's any other opportunity for entry, but I don't think there will be. So I'm not really expecting price to swing back up and provide a, double top right here. Not really expecting too much because of the way that it's set up right now, because there's a sessions right here. Even if price was to come back up, we wouldn't be able to get that double top because it'll be right here in the middle of the sessions, opening price and the Asia low. Check the YouTube real quick. Yeah, there's a lot of ads that keep coming up right here. All right. Sorry, guys. Just checking out the the YouTube real quick because I don't have multiple windows here. Um, let's see. C6 said Fed Logan still speaking later, and Barkin spoke twice yesterday. Everyone's freaking out. Yeah. It's a lot of update with the Fed news regarding the interest rates. I think they mentioned that there's going to be maybe a maximum of 2 or 3 cuts this year, which is not what people were expecting, right? A lot of people are expecting a bunch of cuts happening this year with regard to the interest rate. But for the most part, the Fed never really follows through, right? They just say that to get people excited by the end of the year, and then the new year happens, and like, oh, we're actually not going to have that many cuts because the economy is actually not that good yet. Yeah, exactly. C6 said he contradicted J Powell. Let's see. So Jay said Tradeovate will reject your order if you've blown your account, correct? Um, Honestly, I don't know. I've never had that situation before, but Sisuk said, yeah, that's kind of what happened. I've never had that situation because I've never blown an account yet. But if that's, I mean, that could be the case. I mean, I personally don't know, but yeah, that could be the case. All right, guys. So there's no entries here for any of our official strategies. Again, we're looking for a V1 pattern to confirm the reversal to the downside. in the direction of the trend. Currently, right now, the trend's bearish. As you guys can see, prices below the pivots. Pivots are angling down. Um, and we're looking for this here to possibly provide another correction to the downside. So basically, what we're looking for right here, guys, is we already have a low established. So we have price coming down. We want price to come back up and come back down like that. Something like that, basically. Looking for entry here. So we're looking for price to come down, provide a reversal signal right here, basically a double body or double wick. We can mark up structure there when that happens. And then once we have that there, we can look for either a breakout V3 continuation back to the downside right here, or we can look for price to come back up, provide a double top right there. And then possibly look for a sell at that point. But at the moment, we just don't have anything here so far. All right, we have a high right here that's starting to come up, but there's no double body or double wick, so there's no opportunity there for any reversal pattern. Again, we just got to sit tight and wait. Yeah, exactly. Nick said, keep in mind though, guys, if you're to take a V3 continuation and lose, you could very well lose your Apex account for violating the trailing drawdown. Yeah, if you're using too big of a lot size or a contract size, then I wouldn't recommend taking another trade today, guys. Like if you took the max contract size for the PRB entry, then I probably wouldn't take another entry today because you're going to be reaching your max drawdown level. That's why for the PRB, if you're only applying the PRB, you're completely fine because you can take the max contract size, or not the max, but max that I've recommended. And if you win the next trade, you'll just make it right back, right? So like for this week so far, we had two PRB entries that hit and we had two PRB entries that lost. So you should probably be at like around break even this week if you took both of the PRB entries. Because there was a PRB entry on Monday, which was a win, a PRB entry on Wednesday, which was a win. Yesterday was a loss, and today was a loss. So you should be at break even for the week. So that's why I was saying like the strategy doesn't have to be changed, guys. There's only you're at a break even week. It's not like we're not at a loss from the strategy. Well, the strategy is in a win for the year, and it's in a win for the month. We're only at a break even for the week. So it's not the end of the world. It has one loss. Everybody has an opinion about changing the strategy. There's nothing that needs to be changed. That's why I said there's nothing that needs to be changed yet because it's only had two losses for for the whole time period that we've been using them. So until there needs to be changes, then we can make changes to it. But right now, there's just not much that needs to be changed to it. So there's no V1 pattern here, guys. So there's no entry for us to take, or there's no opportunity for us to look for any entries. Um, we just need to keep looking for price to swing back up to provide a reversal pattern because we want that reversal. We want price to actually retrace up, and then we want price to provide the reversal so that we know price is actually going to come down. Right? That's kind of what we're looking for here. I guess Daniel mentioned over here that there was a momentum pullback scalp that just came up. So there's a sell signal, price came down, retraced up right here. Entry would have happened at this 40 level. You'd get into that for a 10-25 split. And it looks like it hit TP right there. So if you guys saw that right there, it would have been solid. It's not one of the official entries that we look for, but it is one of the entries that used to be one of the official entries. So depending on if you guys apply that strategy, down right there would have set it up for you. All right, let me scroll down real quick or scroll up. Yeah, so Shannon said the other day, she did that the other day, and she's now using a small contract size to trade 5% of her max loss. Yeah, I mean that's literally how I do it too. It all my trades are at a 1% risk, guys. So I'm not really risking that much per trade. Every time I take a trade, I'm risking about 1% on my Apex. So I'm basically at a break even for this week for the most part. Um, yeah, let me check real quick. Yeah, I mean all my accounts are still pretty much in profit for the most part. I'm at a break even at yeah, I'm at a break even for this week. Because yeah, let me pull this up real quick. So I didn't realize that we had a win. I forgot we had a win on Monday. So on Monday we had a win as a full TP. Listen right here. On a Wednesday we had a win, full TP as well. Yesterday we had a loss, and today we had a loss. So we're technically at a break even for the week. I forgot we had a trade on Monday. I thought we had two losses and one win, but we had two wins and two losses. So we're at a break even the um for the week so far, which is it's at I'm at a 1% risk. All right, so back to the charts, guys. I know we're kind of talking about other stuff. Okay, so we have a V1 pattern right here. This might be setting up. I just realized that since I'm using max risk on my account, I have to either lower my lots, my contract size, or I could just not take any of these other entries. I'll see how the entries come up. If they come up good, then I'll think about taking them. But if not, then I'll probably just sit out and then I will wait for Monday because I don't really like how the market's moving today anyways. As you guys can see, we were looking for the entry over here. It didn't come up very nice. Um, and you guys can see there's like random spikes of volatility here because the candles here are moving super slow. And then all of a sudden we're getting like an increase of volatility right here as price kind of spikes up and it spikes back down. It's a tricky market to trade in. So with my risk I've ran my risk up a little bit. Um, I'm probably gonna maybe not take these other entries unless they're like really, really good. If I see that they're very, very solid and I think they're definitely going to hit, then I'll take them. But if I'm on the fence, like right now, I'm kind of on the fence with taking any of these V1 variations or breakout V3 continuations because they're not really closing how they should be. Like this candle right here, I would have expected this candle to close red and then provide a sell signal, right? This thing closed, it came down super heavy and then it swung right back up, which is not exactly the kind of candle that you're looking for, especially when you're trading in a trending market. What the market's starting to show is that price is just starting to range. So let's go over here to our clean chart. So this is now the 1 minute resistance level. I'll just copy this. And this right here is going to be support. So price is really just in a range right now. I kind of spotted it from like looking at it earlier from the other chart. But this isn't the type of market that you want to trade in. A lot of the strategies, or pretty much all the strategies we apply, are directional. And you can see over here, I mean, realistically, the market was actually going sideways right here too. So even from our initial entry for the PRB, I mean, price has pretty much been going sideways ever since, right? So price has been going sideways right here, came down slightly. Now it's going sideways right here. Not the type of market you really want to trade in. So yeah, if you guys don't want to take any more trades for today, I mean, I'll keep looking for entries, but for the most part, I think I'm probably going to sit out unless I see something that's really good because you can see that the market's not really moving too smooth. The one entry that I might be able to look for or what I would want to look for would be a V1 variation because the V1 variations go in line with the sideways market. The only problem here is that we never got the low. I would have expected this here to be a low, but you can see the low never came up. So there's no way we can get another V1 up here for a double top, right? It just won't happen. So again, we are going to be waiting for something here to set up, but for the most part, it's not really looking like it here. Let's see, question from iPhone. iPhone's asking, it doesn't reset every day. No, it doesn't. Your trailing drawdown it's a trailing drawdown. It doesn't reset at all. It just follows your price. So if you go into profit, it just follows it with it. Um, so your risk is typically going to be around like 3% max for your trades. If so, I mean, well, it depends on your account size. If you're doing a 50K count or I think a 25K count, your risk is a bit higher. It's like 4 or 5%. But with the 150K count, your risk is about like, yeah, I'd say it's about like 3% or a little more than 3%. Because the way that I calculated my trade, so I think the way that I did it here was, what was the calculator thing at? Yeah, so the way that I did it was depending on your contract size. So if you're doing so max drawdown for a 150K counts 5,000. If you're doing a 10 contract size, it's 1250. You can lose 4 trades back to back. So you can literally lose 4 trades back to back to back, right? That's how you would blow your account. But this like never happens. I've never seen it happen before, and at least not for us. And if you're trading a bigger contract size like Nick, he's doing a 12 contract at 1,500, right? So he can lose 3.3 trades. So he can lose 3 trades and a little more than that. So the only way for him to blow his account is if he loses 3 back-to-back losses, like full losses, 3 back-to-back full losses, um, and then a little more on top. So basically 3.3 losses. That's why I set it up that way. That's why I say 12 is the max for 150K so that you have that cushion just in case. So we'll see what happens on Monday. I think I'm going to sit out for any more entries today because I don't really see anything happening here and nothing's really coming up looking like a good entry. There would have been a nice V1 right here, but the high never came up, right? Because there was no low. There has to be a high, low, high, low. There was a high here, low never came up, so the high never came back up over here. This is a double body pattern, but it's not a V1 because there's no high on that point. Let's see. Let's see. Drew said, thankfully, I didn't set my leader count, so it hit stop loss on his sim. Nice. That's a good mistake, right, Drew? Let's see. iPhone's asking, does it blow your account if you enter a trade and you go over your drawdown, but close in profit like FTMO? Yeah, definitely. All right, Albert, we'll see you back here on Monday. Let's see. Yeah, Nick said his Apex accounts are lower than they were at the beginning of the week, but that's because of slippage with losses. Other than that, he'd be at break even. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shannon said she's risking 0.33%, which is 500 to keep ahead of her trailing stop or 10% of her max drawdown. Yeah, as long as you do the math properly, guys, you guys can see where your drawdown's at. I mean, I pretty much did the calculation before I started taking trades, so I already knew that I can take 3.3 trades back to back before I have to before I get close to blowing my account. So right now I'm fine. I'm like around break even right now. Um, so I can technically lose a little more than one trade before I have to go into the red zone. If that becomes the case, I could just lower my contract size, of course. Let's see. Kenny's asking, hey Sean, on TradingView package, is the YM included or is it separate? It's separate. You have to, well, I mean, if you're using Apex, you can just log into your Apex account. You don't have to buy it. But if you're not using an Apex account and you want to have YM on your TradingView, you have to get it under additional market data. It's going to be under CME group. Because if you click on this right here, it's going to say delayed on yours if yours is not active. Mine doesn't say delayed because I'm paying for it. But also if you're logged into your Apex, it'll just say the same thing as well. It won't be delayed. Dijon's asking how do you track your drawdown on Tradeovate? You can log on to the Apex account. If you log on to the Apex account and you look at your account status, or I forgot what it's called, but it shows all your accounts there. It'll show you where your drawdown's currently at. All right, so we'll see if anything happens here. It's not looking like much is happening here, guys, unfortunately. There's another sell signal that's coming up. It's starting to set up as a breakout V3 continuation. I'm probably not going to take it though because price is going sideways here for a bit. I mean, there's still a V1 pattern right here. So technically, if you really wanted to take this breakout V3 continuation, you could, but I'm personally not looking to take it. Like I said, I'm not really looking comfortable. I don't feel comfortable with this type of market because of the obviously you guys can see the sideways movement. There's not really too much going on here. Um, but I mean, I guess we could see. We can still follow it and see if it plays through. There's just not really much happening here. All right, Drew. Yeah, Drew said he's good. He's have a good weekend. He's gonna see us here on Monday. Yeah. If you guys don't feel like needing to trade right now, like for example, I don't feel like needing to trade right now because you can see how the candles are so small. For one, the market's going sideways, and for two, the candles are not really closing properly. You can see this candle right here looked like it was gonna close with the sell signal and it spiked right back up. And the ATR is super low. So you can see there's not really too much going on here. The ATR is super low right now. So with the ATR below 15, as you guys know, that's below average. So you're probably just going to see the market go sideways and not really have much movement for the rest of the session, at least. So yeah, if there's any questions, guys, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Fortunately, it's just this is one of those times of the week where the market's moving very slow and there's not much for us to take. And that's just typical, right? There's nothing different about it. That's just how the market is sometimes. And you have to understand when not to trade, right? Like for me, I understand not to trade right now. So I'm actually going to turn off my Ninja Trader so I don't FOMO into anything. And I'm going to shut down my laptop. Yeah, there's just no need for me to take anything right now because my drawdown is kind of high because of those two back-to-back losses, but I'm at about break even for the week. Yeah, Dijon said he's probably going to call it a week, trying to get his first top set payout next week. Nice. Yeah, no, that's solid. So guys, for you guys who are part of the mentoring group, I think we'll just stay on here and we'll finish the mentoring session because due to my lack of screens, I only have one screen today. It's going to be hard for me to get off this and then set up another room because I usually have a second screen to do all the setup. But right now, I just have this screen right here. So if there's any questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. I know this week was a little kind of all over the place because I was traveling. But next week we'll be back to our normally scheduled meetings where we'll meet after the live session. I mean, there's not really much for us to cover here anyways for the mentoring session, so I don't think it's really necessary to get on to a separate session. The only trade that came up today was the breakout, or sorry, the PRB entry. That's pretty much the only entry that we saw today. There was no breakout V3 continuations. There was no V1 variations. So there's not really much to cover today, for the most part. Kenny's asking, so on Apex, TradingView is included. Well, if you open a TradeOvate account, Kenny, because it have to be included or else you wouldn't be able to trade with them, right? Because that's the data that you'd be using. So that's why it's included because that's the actual data that you would be using for Apex. But you have to pick a TradeOvate account. You can't pick a Rhythmic. If you sign up with a Rhythmic account, then it's not going to be included because you're not going to be trading on the TradingView platform. That's why it costs a little more. It's like $10 more, I think. All right, so there's a V1 pattern that's setting up right here, guys. Again, I'm not going to take the trade, but I'll mark it up for you guys. There's a V1 confluence right here. You can see the double body rejection. This is initiating and basically showing that there's going to be a reversal from this point. So price came down, came back up, gave it a reversal pattern right here for a double body rejection. Price kind of went sideways for a bit. And again, right here, there is another double body rejection on this candle. So with that said, there's a double top that's set up right here with a reversal pattern on each candle. And this will be setting up for a possible V1 variation with confluence. So if you guys want to take this trade, I'll mark it up for you guys. I'm not going to take this trade because I already closed my Ninja Trader, so I don't have any opportunity to take any trades here, even if I wanted to. So this right here is a V1 variation with confluence. It's currently running in profit. It has a pending sell signal. So if that sell signal closes, it's likely to hit because it's just going to spike right through and hit its TP. But that sell signal needs to close. If it ends up closing, this could be another setup for a breakout V3 continuation. So it's running right there. It's still running. Again, the ATR is super low. I don't really like the way that the candles are moving because they're moving so slow. So there goes a full TP right there for the breakout, or sorry, for the V1 variation with confluence. If anybody took it, that was a setup right there. Looks like Maddie caught it. Nice work, Maddie. Double top right there. Reversal patterns straight down. There's a pending sell signal right here. If the sell signal here closes, and there's a red candle after it, this is going to be another entry for a breakout V3 continuation. So this is one of the official entries that we apply, the V1 variation. And it's starting to set up right here. And it looks like there might be another entry right here setting up as well. Nice. Daniel took it, and he made back his loss from earlier. Nice work, Daniel. Solid work right there. Let's see. Lucas is asking, Sean, could this be considered a PRB entry? I missed the initial entry, but I thought this looked good. I was late on the live, missed that you entered this one right before. So there's only one PRB entry, Maddie. Sorry, not Maddie. Lucas. So there wouldn't be another one after it. So I'll pull up your screenshot here, but wouldn't be considered a PRB because one that we took was the PRB entry. It only comes up once. So this right here actually wouldn't be it. When I was talking to Maddie earlier, I said if we kind of waited a little longer, the actual entry would have happened right here off this green candle. So the one that we took was over here. Price came up, gave some space, came back down, retraced up, and the entry would have happened right here. This is where the original entry happened off this green one. But the other one over here would have happened right there. So this one would have been too far down, Lucas, for a PRB. It either would have happened right here or right here on this other green candle. But it's all good. No, it's a good analysis right there to see. You did have the pattern kind of set up. It just happened a little too late because there's two of them that happened right before it already. Back to the charts here. So pretty much back-to-back entries right here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught the second one, but the V1 variation with confluence here hit full TP, and then also the breakout V3 continuation right here hit full TP as well. Two back-to-back entries right there. If you guys took those, you probably would have recouped your loss from today. It's pretty straightforward, pretty smooth. So you guys can see the strategy still worked perfectly fine. It's just the entry times from earlier were just kind of choppy because of the big candles, right? Otherwise, everything else here worked pretty much as it should have been and how it was supposed to. So let's see. Looking over here, William posted his profits. He's currently up 360 for the day. Nice work, William. Some profits here from Dijon. Dijon locked in a total profit of 1,150 for the day. Nice work, Dijon. David over here took a partial as well of the PRB, exited manually, locked in 90 for the day. Nice work, David. We have Patricia here. She took a partial from today off the PRB. She locked in 9,095. Nice work, Patricia. Here's Vimal. He had a late entry on the PRB, total profit of 174. So it looks like a lot of you guys here still locked in some pretty good profit. For a lot of you guys who held on to the position past where I got stopped out. Unfortunately, I got stopped out because it just spiked up and then it came back down. But it looks like for a lot of you guys here who held on to it, Reese over here as well. He was up 3,100 for the day. Nice work, Reese. And his second account, total profit of 5,250. Sorry, 5,225. Nice work, Reese, on his accounts right there. Maddie over here with his loss. It's all good. It happens. Casey over here collected a partial on the PRB on both accounts. Total profit of 469 for the day. Nice work, Casey. We have Natasha. She got a partial on the PRB as well. Total profit of 619. Nice work, Natasha. We have Gian over here. He did the PRB for a 1530. So he actually had a bigger stop loss and he was able to catch that swing to the upside and swing back down. Total profit of 845. Nice work, Gian. And Drew over here said he doesn't know why his loss on his sim was so high, but he got lucky and forgot to set it as his leader. He got in late. So Drew over here actually made profit on the PRB. So it looks like a lot of you guys here did make profit on the PRB, even though I took a loss. If you guys held on to it longer than we typically hold on to it for. Again, we're gonna keep testing the PRB as it is, and if we need to make adjustments to the stop loss, then we'll make adjustments. But I think right now it's fine as is. I like it as a 1-to-1 because there's less risk involved when trading it that way. So I'll keep it at 25 for now, and then we'll make some adjustments if necessary. We have Dejan over here, more profits, total profit of 1,900. Nice work, Dejan. Cam over here for 2 of his accounts locked in a total profit of 1,500. Nice work, Cam. So it looks like a lot of you guys here did make profit off the trade. We have Narith over here, total profit of 1,000, 2,000, 1,000. So about like 5,000 for the day. If you add these all up. Nice work, Narith. All wins. We have Andreas, total profit of 1,500 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. So it looks like majority of you guys actually held on to that PRB entry longer. And you did make profit on it. So I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here still made profit off that PRB, even though I took the loss on it. I just had to take one for the team to see how this here would play out. And unfortunately, yeah, the stop loss was just a little too tight for this type of market. So I will continue looking. And again, like I mentioned, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set it up. It's just kind of hard because I can't see it as well on my laptop as I do on my computer at home in my office. But you can see that the TP stop loss was a little too tight. Again, if I set it up to 300, this would have been okay. This price would have came up, faked out, came right back down, and then would have hit TP, of course. But it's all good. We have to keep applying it as is, and we have to figure out what needs to be changed to it. But for the most part, we'll use that as knowledge for moving forward. Nice. So Maddie said recoup his losses. He's only down 70 for the day. And he might call it a day. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys took the breakout V3 continuation and the V1 variation right here, nice work, guys. Full TP on both of the entries. Yeah, Sisu said he's out. He dropped his contracts due to the way that the market was moving this morning. So basically partial profits compared to the 12 contracts, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, Vimal over here said correct. PRB worked out, but just our entry was unfortunate. Yeah, it was a little too close. Cam said he's done for the day. FOMO's hitting. Sat on both. Yeah, I sat on both too. I don't want to risk it. It's just a little too risky. Eunice said he took the V1 and held it longer, hit his TP for 20 ticks, made most of his loss back. Nice work, guys. So it looks like majority of you guys here either made profit for the day or made most of your losses back. Yeah, it's all good, Daniel. We're actually going to hold the mentorship on here. So, guys, I guess right now we'll just start the mentorship. As I mentioned, I wasn't able to take my my additional screen with me today, so I'm working off just my MacBook screen, and unfortunately, the screen here is kind of small, so it's hard for me to set up another screen or another room without having that extra screen here for me to answer questions. So guys, if you guys are part of the mentorship, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Let me see if there's any questions over here. So here's Daniel's update. Nice. Okay, so Daniel only has 1 loss for the week. He didn't take the PRB today. Or maybe he did. I don't see the dates on here, but yeah. Daniel over here pretty much took the Monday PRB, hit his full TP, took the PRB on Wednesday, full TP, didn't trade on Wednesday, didn't trade on Thursday. He took the momentum pullback scalp on today, full TP. He took the PRB today, had the loss. Took another momentum pullback scalp today, had a win, and took a V1 variation for a win as well. Nice work, Daniel. So great work right there. Here's Williams. He had a small profit for the day, closed slightly in profit for 20. Nice. Yeah. So looks like William over here had the same situation. He had two losses and recouped the win right there. So I'm actually at break even for the week. I thought I was at a loss, but I'm at break even for the week because of the Monday win. See if there's any other questions here. Nice. Yeah, so Albert said a little update on a skill funded trader account. If you choose to get an account with them, don't do elite. Profit target is 6% because of the margin. I would be careful with any of these other funding companies, guys. So if you guys want to use any other funding companies, I mean, feel free. You guys can use them at your own risk. But I did see I think someone posted in the group. There was something that was posted online that basically any funding companies that are servicing US clients that are using US30, they're going to get shut down pretty soon. So I know Albert over here mentioned skill funded trader. I think they're one of those companies that are allowing US clients to trade US30. So they're probably going to get shut down soon too. And if you guys heard about funded engineer, they got caught for scamming. So their their provider pretty much banned them. Yeah, Patricia said be careful because MT4 and MT5 platforms for prop firms are going to be shut down. Yeah, pretty much all of them. Yeah, well, they got caught scamming. They were faking payouts. So the broker found out that they were faking payouts and they cut them off. They sent an email to like pretty much everyone. Well, not everyone, but they sent an email to certain people and they said that they're cutting off all relationship with them because they were scamming. I knew there was something up with them because they were because they were giving all those discounts. Like the discounts were like weird discounts. They're not like Apex discounts. They're like discounts where you can get an account for like there's so many add-ons you can get on with them, which is super weird. So Patricia said by the end of March, all of the MT4, MT5 platforms are going to get cut off. So just heads up, guys. If you guys are using any other funding companies that still use MT4, MT5, as if you're located in the US. Yeah, Patricia said stick with futures. Yeah, I agree. Stick with futures, Apex. Again, if you guys want to use Apex, guys, there's still the discount going on right now. So say for example, you guys just started a new account and you guys are super far in the red right now, right? If you guys just want to reset the account, it's only 50 bucks right now. If you guys want to reset it, it's half off resets. Um, yeah, it's half off resets and it's 80% off. So if you guys want to start a new account with Apex, it's like $60 for a 150K account. And if you want to just reset the account, it's $50. So say for example, you screwed up and you just YOLO your accounts, right? You want to just reset them all. It's 50 bucks, which is not bad. It's actually pretty cheap to reset a full 150K account. All right, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Nice work, Henry, over here. Henry locked in some profit, 55.20 for the day. Solid profits right there. Let's see. We have Delicia over here with a trade journal. I think you posted this in the wrong group, Delicia, or you can post it here too. It's up to you. I think you meant to post this in the mentorship group. Kaner over here took the PRB. He increased his stop loss with a partial profit, and he took the V3 continuation with a full TP. So Kaner over here took the breakout V3 continuation and a partial on the PRB. Total profit of 1,560 for the day. Nice work, Kaner. So solid profit right there. Rashida over here locked in a total profit of 1,785 for the day. Nice work, Rashida. And her other account, she locked in 1,184 for the day. Nice work, Rashida, right there too as well. Shannon over here locked in a total profit of 239 for the day. Nice work, Shannon. All wins. Eunice recouped most of his losses for the day. Nice work, Eunice. He's only down 200 now. And we have Delicio over here, total profit of 2,038 for the day. Nice work, Delicio. So it looks like a lot of you guys here did lock in some pretty good profit. Even though I ate the loss for the day, it's all good. I took one for the team, looking for those entries. Trying to clean up the chart here a little bit, but there's not really much to look at. So we don't really need to clean up right now at the moment. We need to look for a V1 variation pattern on the top here. And once we get this, we can start looking for another structure. But right now, there's no other structure. It's just this one up here that was here earlier. And now we're going to be looking for the next opportunity as price continues to move along. Ross is asking, can you show us where you can find your drawdown? So it's not going to update today, Ross. It updates at midnight every day. So you won't be able to see your drawdown right now until tomorrow, basically, or until the end of tonight. You log into your Apex, and then on the left side, it's going to say account summary. I can't show you because I don't have my logins for my Apex here. They're like linked to my work desktop. So I don't know what my password is for Apex. So unfortunately, I can't show you my Apex right now, but that's where you would find it. Sisuk mentioned that if you scroll up, he put a step-by-step instruction. You might want to tag me into it. But it's super simple, Ross. You just log into your Apex, and then on the left-hand side, it shows your account summary. And then you can choose which account you want to see. It'll show you where your drawdown's at for the account at the moment. But all right, guys. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't really see much happening from now until 8 o'clock. You guys can see the ATR is extremely low. So if anything, we'll probably just cut this out a little earlier today because there's just nothing for us to look at. I would have held a mentoring session, but as well, there's just nothing for us to look at there either because there's only and I can just review them here again. So I think what I'll do here right now is I will review the entries that came up today, which they're already on the chart, so we don't really have to make much of a difference. And if you guys have any other questions regarding, any of these entries, just let me know and I'll break them down for you. But let's start off with the PRB entry. So the PRB entry was right here, right? We had price come down. Let me mark up 630 real quick. So this is 630 right here. Price came down. It retraced up right here. We had that drop to the downside right here. So price came up and you can see how it's coming back down, right? This is kind of what we were looking for. We wanted price to retrace up and we wanted to push back to the downside. So price pushed up right here, came down right here with a nice wick and a red candle. So that was the first retracement and continuation right here. Then we look for space, which is right here, right next to it. Then we look for price to retrace back up and come back down. So price came up and then it rejected off the pivot right here where it came down slightly. And that's where we made entry right here. Unfortunately, our stop loss was a little tight. So if you zoom out a little bit, you can see here that the TP stop loss was a little tight because the candles are moving quite a bit. If you look at our other entries where they've hit, there was more space here. But, it was kind of tight here as is. Price swung up. TP stop loss was just a little too tight. And then it came right back down after it hit TP. So unfortunately, I just got caught in this big green candle right here where it kind of spiked me out. And then it came right back down to TP. This is why typically I usually have a bigger stop loss, but we're testing out the strategy for a one-to-one, so I just left that as is. So this is the PRB entry that came up. And then looking at the other two official entries that came up for today here as well is these two right here. So let me just go up real quick. So the reason why this right here was a V1 variation with confluence is because for one, we had a V1 right here, double body rejection, right? And then we look back to the most recent V1 pattern or the most recent high, and there's another V1 pattern right there. So this is where the structure was established. With this structure here, this is going to be the confluence. So we have a reversal pattern right here. Price comes down, retraces up. There's another reversal pattern right here. This provides opportunity for a V1 variation with confluence. So this is the second official entry that came up, and this one obviously hit full TP right there, right? After that, we can now use this V1 pattern as the next confluence. This was a first confluence. This is now the second confluence. We have a sell signal right here. And once it's followed by a red candle, this right here is going to be the breakout V3 continuation. So V1 confluence, sell signal, breakout V3 continuation with confluence, and this right here would be the entry. So with that said, we move forward. And again, another full TP there. So those are the three entries that came up. There was no entries that we avoided. All the entries that came up were official entries. So this was the official entry for a loss. This was an official entry for a win. And this was another official entry for a win as well. Going back to current time right here, there's nothing else for us to take at the moment. However, if you do see price kind of swing back up and provide a V1 pattern right here, then there can maybe possibly be an opportunity there for a V1 pattern for another confluence. So that's pretty much what you'd be looking for here if you're looking for the next entry. Let me scroll over here real quick. Yeah, Cam's asking if we can review the PRB from yesterday. Let's go back to yesterday. Okay, so this is the entry from today. Now let's go to yesterday on Thursday. All right, so Thursday was right here. All right, so looking at this right here, this is a 630 candle, or no, 629. All right, so market open right here at 630. Price came down. So price came down and it pushed back up. This is going to be the same pattern that we just looked for, right? It's the retracement and then shoot back to the upside right here. So this right here is going to be the retracement and turn around back into the direction of the trend. Right here, we had a bullish trend. So price came up, came down, pushed off this point, nice wick on the bottom. That's going to be the retracement. Then we'd be looking for some space, which was going to be right here. It was a little bit of a bigger space candle because the body was big, but on the wick on both sides, that was kind of what we're looking for. Same body wick on both sides. Once we had that right there, we were going to look for the actual entry, which was right here. So same situation, retracement, push back up right here, space, price pushed up, came back down for retracement, pushed back up again. And this is where our entry was yesterday for the PRB. So let me just show you guys again. This is the same situation that happened today. So you guys can see how these candles here were kind of big, right? The candles here were kind of big to the point. Sorry, guys, I got to drag stuff over. There's like too much going on my chart right now because I have one screen. I have the Zoom on here, the YouTube on here. And again, so this is the same thing that happened today, right? I mentioned that whenever it's too close to it, like it is right here, we might want to make some adjustments to the TP stop loss. However, in this situation, it wouldn't make a difference. It still would have been a loss. But you guys can see how these candles were a little different compared to how they were moving on Monday and Wednesday, right? On Monday, Wednesday, there was a lot more space for us to just catch the win and then push in our direction. While over here, these candles were just too big. So this is the entry from yesterday, and then price just did a full-on reversal again right here. So it was just tricky yesterday and today, same situation, kind of same setup. And that was the entry right there for the PRB entry. The tricky thing here that I want to discuss is the session. So if I turn on the sessions right here, you guys can see that the entry actually had a rejection on both ends, right? We've never seen this before, where the entry candle is right there, and you can see how price was rejecting directly off the sessions right there and rejecting directly off the sessions right there. This is not a good setup, right? If we were using the red flags. So obviously we have to adapt with the market. This is kind of what happened today too. It was right in between sessions, just like it was yesterday. And that's kind of what screwed us up because when that happened, price just ended up getting super manipulated off the sessions. But it's all good. It's not always going to happen that way. You know, this is just how the market is today and yesterday. But this doesn't necessarily mean sessions are going to be right next to price on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the next week. So I'm going to keep it as is and we're going to keep applying it how it's supposed to be. But here goes the example for yesterday's PRB entry that didn't play through. Kind of same messy market setup. And it is what it is. You have to deal with it. And you can't really make too many adjustments to the strategy unless you absolutely need to make them. So there's no V1 pattern here, guys. There's no entries coming up anytime soon. Let me scroll down and see if there's any other questions here. Let's see. Casey said, do you think we should avoid PRB if it's near sessions? So I'm still doing a raw test right now. So I'm doing a raw test where I'm not factoring in the sessions. The problem with us incorporating the sessions, Casey, is that if we do that, we might not have any entries, right? Because price is typically around sessions a lot of the times. So it's tricky because if we put too many requirements and too much criteria to it, we're just not going to take any entries, right? I think the week before last week we had five back-to-back wins, and price was near the session, so there was no need for us to really incorporate that. So as of now, I'm not going to incorporate it until like I think it's like super necessary. Like if we start to have a lot of losses, then okay, I'm going to incorporate some other things to factor into our analysis. But for the most part, I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, Maddie said the PRB hit through sessions all through the month of January. So the entire month of January, price like shot through the sessions. And it just wasn't a criteria that was necessary for us. That's why I didn't really look at the sessions, but you do bring up a good point, um, Casey, because usually I don't trade around the sessions, but for that specific strategy, I think it's okay. So. All right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. This is going to be pretty much the mentoring session for today because there's not really much to cover. Next week, again, as I mentioned, we'll go back to our normally scheduled sessions. We'll get off the live session, get on to a mentoring session. But for today, I just don't have an extra screen, so I can't set up the room properly like we normally would. So yeah, if there's no other questions, guys, we'll wrap this up. Unfortunately, we had to close this week with a loss. Technically, we're at break even if you were to calculate all the entries. I don't think I have my spreadsheet on here, so I can't really make any adjustments. Um, or you know what? I think I can. Let's see. My trade journal. Okay, so here's my trade journal. And I can just update this real quick. Entry happened at 6:39. So again, like I was saying earlier, guys, the only time we lose this trade seems to be like when we take it super early. You guys can see from all the stats over here, every PRB entry that we take, um, it's typically happening after 6:30. So I don't know, maybe that's something that we have to like take a look at too, because that could might as well be the case where like maybe we should just wait until after 6:40 for entry. Because you guys can see over here. So if you look over here, all the PRB entries that we took were all wins. They all happened around like, so the first PRB was at 7:04, or actually this shouldn't have been at 7:04. I think our cutoff is 7 o'clock. But either way, um, this one's at 6:49. This is at 6:44, 6:44, 6:41, 6:44. The two losses that we had, the only two losses for the PRB entry happened at 6:36 and 6:39. So I don't know. Again, this is why I document all my trades here and why I journal them, because we need this to identify, okay, what needs to be changed about the PRB to make it better, right? But for the most part, I think it's still a great strategy, and we just have to stick to what we're doing now. But for the most part, the PRB only has two losses for the entire year. So that's 23 wins out of 25 trades. And if you do the math on that, the win rate's still extremely high. So I don't think there's anything that needs to be changed, obviously right now specifically. So if I do the math off that, so 23 divided by 25, it still has a 92% win rate, which is a very high win rate for a one-to-one. Anything above 50% is going to be good long term. And that's kind of where we're trying to aim for, right? We want to aim for like maybe an 80 to 95% win rate. Because if you do that, then you're going to make X amount of percentage by the end of the year. And that's going to be a lot of profit depending on how big your account size is. So. All right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the week. Does not look like there's going to be any more entries for the day. As you guys can see, the ATR is extremely low. It's down to 11. So there's really no reason to trade here at all. And we'll just wrap it up, right? Wrap up the week, come back to next week fresh, and we'll hit the markets back. And hopefully the PRB will be back into its winning streak, and we'll just keep going from there. So, all right, guys, if there's any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here